So, you've been in a car accident in Scotland. It's a horrible experience, and right now your head is probably spinning with confusion, you're in pain, especially when it comes to whiplash. Over the next few minutes, we're going to cut through all that noise and give you a really clear, practical guide to understanding your rights and exactly what to do next.
Look, chances are you're hurting, you're not sure what your rights are, and you just feel completely overwhelmed by the whole thing. And you know what? That is totally 100% understandable. The whole point of this explainer is to give you that clarity, just one simple step at a time.
This quote, it just nails it, doesn't it? It gets right to the heart of the problem for so many people who are suffering from whiplash. It's an injury that other people, maybe even insurance companies, try to play down or underestimate. But your pain and the disruption to your life, that is very, very real. Never forget that. Okay, so here's our game plan to get you from that state of confusion to a place of clarity. First, we're going to talk about what whiplash actually is. Then, and this is a big one, we'll dive into a major law change from 2021 that really affects everything. We'll break down how compensation works now, look at the crucial exceptions, cover how to prove your claim, and then we'll finish up with some practical next steps you can take today.
All right, let's dive right in. First things first, we need to understand the injury itself, because this is so much more than just a sore neck. It's a real, recognized medical condition.
So here's a key thing to get your head around. Whiplash isn't really the injury itself. It's the action. It's that sudden, violent jerking motion that forces your head back and forth. That movement is what damages the soft tissues in your neck. This is a genuine physical trauma, not just some vague ache. And these are the kind of things you'll be feeling if you've suffered that trauma. But here's something you really need to know. Don't be surprised if these don't show up right away. It is completely normal for the worst of the symptoms to kick in hours, or sometimes even a day or two after the actual accident.
And this really gets to the core challenge with whiplash claims. See, if you break a bone, it shows up clear as day on an X-ray. But the damage from whiplash is to muscles and ligaments, soft tissue, and that just doesn't appear on a standard X-ray. This invisibility is often the reason insurers will try to question how bad your injury really is, even though your pain is absolutely real.
Okay, so we've got the medical side down, now for the legal stuff. And trust me, this is a biggie. A huge change back in 2021 completely redrew the map for these kinds of claims, and you absolutely have to understand it.
Think about it like this. Before May 2021, compensation was worked out based on the unique details of your specific situation. But after that date, a whole new system was brought in across Great Britain that totally changed the game, especially for what they consider lower-value claims.
So why the big change? Well, the official reason the government gave was that they wanted to crack down on fraudulent claims and hopefully bring down everyone's insurance premiums. But whatever the intention, the reality is that these changes have had a massive impact on people with very genuine injuries.
And listen up, because this is probably the most important point for anyone watching in Scotland. Even though these were UK-wide reforms, Scotland has its own separate legal system. That means the rules are applied differently up here. Getting advice from a solicitor who specializes in Scottish personal injury law isn't just a good idea, it's an absolute must.
So what did this new system actually create? Well, the easiest way to think about it is like a fixed-price menu for whiplash compensation. It's pretty restrictive. Okay, so here's that menu I was talking about. You can see right here, the amount of compensation you get for your pain and suffering is now tied directly to how long your symptoms are expected to last. The amounts are fixed, there's no wiggle room. And yeah, as you can see in a lot of cases, they are a lot lower than what would have been awarded before 2021.
Now this is something you absolutely have to understand. That tariff we just looked at, it only covers the pain and suffering from the whiplash injury itself. That's it. It does not cover your lost wages, medical bills, travel costs, or any other financial hits you've taken. Those have to be calculated and claimed for separately, on top of the tariff amount. It's a hugely important detail to remember.
All right, now for the part you've been waiting for. This is where things get really interesting. Let's talk about the situations where this whole fixed-price tariff system gets thrown out the window.
So, imagine your claim can go down one of two roads. On one side, you have the tariff road, with its fixed, lower compensation amounts. But then there's the standard road. This is where your compensation is actually based on your unique individual circumstances. The goal is to see if your case qualifies to get on that better road.
So how do you get on that standard road? Well, you are exempt from the tariff if you're what's called a vulnerable road user. That means pedestrians, cyclists, motorcyclists. It also doesn't apply to children. And crucially, it doesn't apply if your symptoms are expected to last for more than 2 years, or, and this one's a big one, if the total value of your claim, meaning your injury plus all your financial losses, is more than £5,000. This checklist is your starting point.
So, no matter which path your claim takes, tariff or no tariff, there's one thing that is absolutely non-negotiable. You need solid medical evidence. This right here is the bedrock of your entire case. You can think of it as the foundation for everything else. This independent medical report gives the official diagnosis and, most importantly, the prognosis. That's the expert's opinion on how long your symptoms are going to last. This one piece of paper can determine everything. But what if you already had, say, a bit of a bad back or some neck issues before the accident? Well, this is where a really powerful legal idea called the thin skull rule comes in to protect you. It basically means the person at fault has to take you as they find you. If their negligence made your old condition worse, they are responsible for that. They can't use your prior health as an excuse.
And what about the other stuff? The things that aren't just physical neck pain? Well, psychological injuries, like anxiety or PTSD from the crash, are treated completely separately from the whiplash tariff. The compensation for them is worked out the old-fashioned way, and it's added on top so that your final compensation reflects the total impact the accident has had on you.
So, with all this information buzzing around in your head, you're probably thinking, okay, so what do I actually do right now? Let's wrap up with a clear, actionable checklist.
Number 1, go see a doctor. Get every single little ache, pain, and symptom down on your official medical record. Number 2, gather every detail you can from the accident. Number 3, and this is the most important, contact a solicitor who specializes in Scottish personal injury law. And finally, number 4, and please listen to this one. Do not accept a quick, early offer from the other side's insurance company. It's almost guaranteed to be way less than what you're truly entitled to. So let's just leave it there. It's easy to feel like the system is confusing, maybe even like it's stacked against you. But don't you ever let that make you doubt what you're going through. Your injury is real. The impact it's having on your life is real, and your right to fair compensation, that is absolutely real too.